Good evening, Seminole fans. Greetings from Bowden's. We are out on the courtyard, second straight week. It's great to see Seminole fans here. Tom Block pinch hitting for Jeff Colhane, who is with the Knowles Hoops team tonight as they tip off their new season. Good luck to Leonard Hamilton and his company, and it's good to see you, Coach Mike Norvell. Welcome, and we'll get right into things, Coach. I know, as North Carolina came to town, you were happy to be back home, and I'm sure you had a good week, and then the game didn't unfold exactly the way you wanted, and we'll take you through it. But just kind of general thoughts on the preparation, and then as you kicked off on a gorgeous day at Doak Campbell.
Yeah, obviously it was a disappointing outcome. I thought our guys had a good week of work. It's been a tough season, and as you sit there and you go through it, a variety of different circumstances that have popped up. We had multiple guys that were out this week. A couple starting offensive linemen that weren't able to go, and you get into the game. We actually tried to change it up a little bit. Won the toss and elected to receive. Wanted to try to get out in front to try to spark a little bit of momentum to see our guys be able to go out, and we were able to get an early lead. Just with a great Ryan Fitzgerald field goal, and it just even throughout the course of the game, we just could never take that next step or build upon momentum. Even when we had when we got the touchdown, you got it to a 10-point game, and then they were able to take the ball back down and to be able to score, and we had some missed opportunities, a couple chances to be able to create takeaways, a couple missed tackles in the open field on third downs, and same thing there offensively was just you got a chance to push the ball down the field, have a chance to have some of those game changing plays, and just weren't able to capitalize on that. And obviously everybody in our program is disappointed just in the results and where we are, how what our record is. But I will say that our guys, just their mindset, their approach, the hunger to go get better and to continue to push forward and control the things that we can control right now. And nobody wants to be where we are, but we do have a group of young men that's hungry for improvement, and that they're willing to work for that improvement. And that's all of my focus right now is just putting everything we have into what's in front of us, and that's tomorrow morning's practice. That's going out there and being the best that we can be. And obviously we got a big task this week going to Notre Dame, and a really talented team that we're going to play against. But I believe in our group, and I do believe that we're going to have a great week of work. And now we need to be able to apply the work and put it into action for 3.5 hours come Saturday.
I know it's about the team. I do want to take a moment just to salute Fitz. You talked about the coin toss. You went out. You did get the lead, a 56-yarder. It's becoming a whole hump for him. He's 10 for 10 this year. I think he's the first player in FSU history with 3 or more field goals of 54-plus in his career. He's tied for the season record by a place kicker with 5 50-plus field goals. It seems like there's nothing he can't do right now.
He's I think he's the best kicker in college football, and he's done a remarkable job. And what I love his story. And he went through some really challenging times. I guess it was a sophomore year, and you had to battle the ups and the downs of what college football can throw at you. And individually, he continued to believe, he continued to work. Obviously he's put himself in some in a great position to be able to be a leader on this team. And I actually use him as an example. Just even throughout the course of the summer, one of the things I challenged him with is find the hard days. Find the days where it's raining. Find the days where maybe the conditions aren't the best, and that's where you go put in your work. And it was a few weeks into the summer, and he sends me a video. He was back home, and it's a downpour, and he's out there kicking field goals, and it's just that's the type of young man that he is. He is going to continue to push himself to be ready for the moment whenever this team has to call on him. Just a great deal of confidence because of the work and the way that he's responded to adversity. He's been, like I said, he's been through some real challenges, and he's built his confidence through those experiences and the work that he's poured in. I just think he's done such a special job, and definitely one of the greats in Florida State history.
Yeah, really has played well. All right, let's get to the truest hero of the game. This was really a truest drive of the game. It was mid-third quarter. UNC had just scored. You needed an answer, and you got one, and it was Brock Glennon at quarterback. and you hit a big play, a 50-yarder, and then you capped it off with a touchdown. I'll let you describe that drive.
I mean, I thought that was, we knew we needed a spark, and coming out, I thought Brock did a great job actually stepping up. Had a linebacker, triggered late and came and hit him right after he threw the football, but he stepped into the throw. He threw a beautiful ball. Malik Benson was able to get past the DB, made a nice catch. Then a few plays later, on a 4th and short, we were able to get man-to-man coverage. Brock saw the matchup. I was able to hit Kai Douglas for a touchdown, and it was really a great drive to see. And something that we needed the explosive play to show up, and those guys definitely answered the call on that drive.
When you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you are unstoppable. So start feeling like it today. Visit truist.com/care. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC. Coach, I was talking about Brock Glenn. Both he and Luke have gotten significant action over the last 3 or 4 weeks. How have you seen them grow and develop as they get from week to week?
Yeah, I think you see two, young quarterbacks and guys that, with every action they're getting, it's the experiences that they're able to build upon, and they've seen really good moments, and they've seen some some areas where they have to improve. But I've loved their mindset and just the way that they've worked together. It's one of those things that when you're playing quarterback, you're relying on a lot of people around you, and obviously you have to do your job. And that's the biggest thing that you challenge those guys with, is that you make sure you show up and you do everything that you can, all right, all the things that you can control, and go out there and be the best that you can be. And with your eyes, your feet, if you get an opportunity to throw the football, locate it in the best position that you can, making the best decisions of what you see throughout the course of your reads. And you've seen those guys have some really positive moments, and like I said, just areas where they can learn from those reps that they're getting. And then on the flip side of it, we got to be able to help around them. And I think there's been times where we definitely got to do a better job of that. And it's one of those things that those guys, you're trying to be able to balance that with both of them getting that action and those live reps. It's really, I think they've handled it well, even though it's been both guys getting a good amount of action in each game.
Time to remind Seminole fans you can get free local news and weather 24/7. Just search WTXL on your favorite streaming device and to watch local news and weather on your time. We are just getting started inside Seminole football. Beautiful night out here at Bowden's, and we'll continue our conversation with head coach Mike Norvell right after this.
Let's rejoin the coach with Tom Block.
And we welcome you back. Beautiful evening at Bowden's. The football conversation will continue in a moment, but it's time to check what's on tap, presented by Oyster City Brewing Company. It's a busy time of year when the fall sports start hitting the winter sports season, and it seems like everything's on tap. The football Seminoles will play this weekend, as you know, at Notre Dame. We'll talk about that matchup in a minute. Kickoff coming up at 7:30 on Saturday, but here's what else is on tap. The women's basketball team opened their season today with a resounding victory over North Florida. They'll play Illinois on Thursday. Got women's volleyball action against Wake Forest, and there's that football matchup I mentioned. Also of note, the Seminole soccer squad got a big win last night in the ACC tournament, and so they are on to the semis. They'll play Wake Forest on Thursday. One thing not on tap, looking ahead for one week for everybody who's here, in observance of Veterans Day, we will not have Inside Seminole Football with head coach Mike Norvell next week, so make a note of that. No show next week. Given that, Coach, and there's not a home game this coming weekend, it was Military Appreciation Day this past weekend, and there was a flyover and, a chance for us to honor the men and women who have served our country. And Darius Washington got the honor of running out with the flag, and I just let you have the floor for a moment to offer your salute and comments as well.
Yeah, obviously it's it's a great day and an opportunity for us to reflect on all of our military personnel that you'll give and pour their lives into being able to protect our freedom, serving our country, and all the great things about what it is to be an American, and the opportunity that we have, and it's also for our coaches and players, just a time to reflect, and all the family members. And it's one of the things we did in our staff meeting, there last Thursday. We put up a picture of all of our players and the military personnel that's involved in their families, and when you look look at, I think it was over 40 guys that we have that have had a direct family member that's either serving currently or has served, and just their appreciation for what that means and that part of their life and they're part of their families.
Thank you again to the men and women who have served. And again, no show next week on Veterans Day. Yeah, that is worth a round of applause, certainly. Coach, we go back to the game. We talked a little bit about offense and defensively. You went out, you got a 3-and-out at the start of the game, and then you got a goal line stand right after that. But obviously, third downs were the issue. Just couldn't get them off the field.
Yeah, and that's when you go into the game, two things we wanted to do is stop the run, and we had to be great on third downs. And this is a team that they were coming off their best outing, and they'd had a big win the week prior. They're on the road at Virginia, and we knew it was going to be a great challenge. I mean, it was a big offensive line. The best running back in our league. Guy's had a lot of success throughout the course of his career, and we knew that we had to come out and it was going to be a battle. And we were able to get off to a pretty good start with a 3-and-out, and then obviously I was really proud of our guys on that goal line stand, just showing the grit and toughness, and even there were some plays leading up to allowing them down there that we had obviously wasn't as real happy with, but it was the continue. We got to continue to build upon those positive moments, and we got them in some third and long situations, and for a variety of different reasons, whether it's missed opportunities of where we're creating pressure, we're right there, have an opportunity to get them down, or getting the guys in space to be able to get the stop, and we just got to be able to finish the play. And they just showed up too many times where we're right there in position, but we got to make sure that we trust the techniques, trust the fundamentals, and go out there and just cut it loose and make the play in that moment, because obviously that allowed for longer drives. It allowed for the time of possession to be as lopsided as it was, and as you get into the depth of what we're doing, you guys, it starts taking a toll, and as they continued on with it, we gave up some longer runs. We had some things that kind of broke down on specific plays that allowed bigger opportunities than what we needed to, and so that's something we're gonna have to continue to have a great focus on, and obviously it's gonna be a big factor in this week's game, being able to get off the field and create those takeaways.
One of the things you talked about post-game and earlier today with the media is it's just been a challenge to play good complementary football this year. You got that scoring drive in the third quarter and cut it to 10 points, but couldn't get the stop after that you needed to then get the ball back and go right down and score again.
You want to be able to sustain and build upon momentum, and that's where we've just not done a good job. And it's when you sit there and you look at it, we have our objectives of what we want to do, of what it needs to look like, in each and every game, starting with turnover margin, and we've not been able to create takeaways on at a good enough rate, and there's been too many times that we've given the ball back in. Obviously in this last game we had two turnovers. We're -2 in that world. We talk about third downs. We talk about the importance of those situations of being able to sustain drives offensively and obviously getting off the field defensively. And once again, there's been two areas of weakness for us where we have to be better. And it's not from a lack of focus or lack of repetition when it comes to it, but it's just when the opportunity presents itself, you got to be on point. And it takes 11 guys playing as one, and obviously as coaches, making sure we're putting our guys in the best position when it comes to that. But then for all of us to be able to go out there and execute there in the moment.
Seminole football is brought to you in part by Florida Farm Bureau Insurance, a proud partner of Florida State Athletics. Also, introducing the official vodka of Florida State Athletics, SV Vodka, crafted for a smooth taste. SV Vodka is 100% vegan, perfect for those who value purity in every sip. Experience the unique blend of tradition and innovation with SV Vodka, the official vodka of Florida State Athletics. We'll take a break. Turn our attention to Notre Dame. Florida State has already done that in the meeting rooms and out on the practice field. We'll have a conversation with Coach about the matchup with Notre Dame. That's when Inside Seminole Football continues from Bowden's right after this. Good evening again. We are at Bowden's in Collegetown, Doak Campbell Stadium. A couple hundred yards that way. Great to see Seminole fans here tonight, and we'll continue our conversation with Coach Mike Norvell here momentarily. 4 points. Hey, in town for a game this fall, stay at 4 points by Sheridan. Tallahassee downtown, where parking is always complimentary, plus free shuttle service to the airport and Doak Campbell Stadium. Make your hotel reservations at 4 Points by Sheraton, Tallahassee downtown today. Later in the show, we're going to be joined by Omar Graham. And, Coach, just a little bit of a thumbnail from you about how you've seen him develop. He's really playing some of his best football, it seems like, of his Florida State career these last couple of weeks.
He is, and Omar's a young man that's really had kind of a challenging start to his career, just dealing with a lot of different injuries. He's so smart, and I mean he puts so much time into his work and preparation. He's a wonderful communicator. Really just a great teammate, and a guy that's earned respect just for how he battles. And I'm proud of him because he stayed the course, and even early in the year, you got a little banged up there in fall camp. Really pushed and tried to give everything he could, to be ready and prepared for the first game. And it didn't go the way that he wanted it to go. I mean, it wasn't full speed, and there were some things that were limiting him. But then he was able to take a little bit of time and to be able to get his body right to back to full speed. And now you see all the work that he's been pouring in. You see the explosiveness, you see the physicality, and really excited about what his future can be. That's the process. And sometimes it doesn't always start or doesn't look like what you want it to, but maintaining the confidence in what you can do, being willing to work and meet yourself where you are. And I mean it's not fun to go out there and not play to the level that you're capable of, but if you're just willing to embrace where you are and take the small steps of improvement, and the confidence comes. And now you see him playing with confidence. You see him playing with that explosiveness and the joy of what it is to play this game. And he still has a lot of area of growth where he can continue to improve, but definitely playing the best football of his time here at Florida State.
You mentioned he was not 100% start of the year. Of course, you lost DJ. You've had to play a lot of young linebackers this year, and unfortunately one of them went down on Saturday in Juice Cryer. But collectively, how are those young guys? How's that unit? How have they been progressing?
They've done a really nice job, and it's a group that obviously we had two great ones last year, with Tatum and Kalen, and DJ played so much football, and DJ is somebody that coming back this year had big expectations for, and unfortunately had an injury that really hampered him there in fall camp and really in the early part of the season, and then ultimately is just something that wasn't getting better, and obviously limited him to where he wasn't going to be able to finish the year. So it was disappointing for him, and just the end of his Florida State career. But I mean really the impact of guys like him, guys like Omar that have been here for a few years, pouring into those young linebackers. And Blake and Justin Cryer, both played last year as true freshmen, primarily on special teams. But now you see them, really emerging as defensive players there in that lineup. You've had guys like Cam Riley that came in, really has done a nice job. DeMarco Ward was somebody that really got started to gain more and more reps. Unfortunately went down with an injury and missed the last contest. But I like what that young group is doing, and obviously we're relying on them in a big way, and they've got to show up. Obviously this would be as important of a game for what we're about to see from Notre Dame. Very similar to what just showed up there against North Carolina, a team that wants to run the football. Obviously a quarterback that's going to be very active in the run game as well. So it's going to take all 11, but those linebackers are going to show up big.
Well, you mentioned Notre Dame. Let's talk about the Scott and Wallace keys to success at Notre Dame. It'll be a night game. South Bend this weekend. Of course, we've known it's a night game all year long, and a big opportunity for your team.
It is, and it's a great stage, national TV, an opportunity to go and put our best forward, and that's my expectation. That's what we're pushing towards. As I talked to the team, there on Sunday, it's about today, and like I said earlier, it's been we've faced the challenges, we've faced the adversity. We've had guys that have gone down, and new guys that have had to step up, and this week we got to put it all together. It's going to take all three phases, but I mean, this is a time, and you get a chance to go out there and take a step in a positive direction and play the Florida State football in the way that we train, the way that we work. I mean, I'm excited to see this team compete this week, and it's going to be a great stage and opportunity for us to put that on display.
Scott and Wallace, the official injury lawyers of Florida State athletics. Scott and Wallace with offices here in Tallahassee. Coach, one more question. I'm thinking about the linebackers. You mentioned Tatum Bethune, and he was back this weekend. I have to imagine as a coach that one of the most rewarding things is when you see a guy that's gone through the program, having success, has moved on, and then when they come back, and I realize it's the middle of the season, you probably didn't have a ton of time to engage with them, but you knew he was back.
Yeah, no, I saw him and Renardo Green came back with him. Obviously, both those guys playing for the 49ers on a bye week. It was great to be able to see them, back in Tallahassee, and they got a chance to talk to the team there on Friday with obviously some of the past players was there. Always invited back there on Fridays, so it was good to see them be a part of it. And we've had a lot of the guys that are now playing in the NFL that when they've had their bye week, this is where they've been, and their love, their care, the support of the program. Jordan texted me last week, just reaching out. I mean, they watch, and it's so important. The relationships they have on this team, the belief that they have, and how and what we're doing, and just the encouragement of what they provide. But it's definitely fun seeing those guys take the next step. I know anybody watching the Rams game the other night, I didn't get to see it, but I saw some of the highlights of Braden and Jared just performing in dominant fashion, and it's what we were accustomed to here, and to see them translate that at the next level is just really special for all those guys, and just grateful for who they are and what they mean to this program.
Well said. Head coach Mike Norvell. We've got one more segment with Coach. Then Coach Yak is going to join us, and also Omar Graham. That's all straight ahead. So stay with us here from Bowden's on Inside Seminole Football. We're back after this.
Here is Tom Block.
We welcome you back to Bowden. Some final thoughts from Coach momentarily, but it's time for Bowden's historical matchup. We'll take you back a decade to this week's opponent, Notre Dame and Florida State. Notre Dame came into Doak Campbell Stadium. It was October of 2014, and Florida State, the defending national champs at that time, and Jameis Winston back as quarterback. Big night and big-time atmosphere and a very memorable game. Notre Dame actually had the lead at the half, but Jameis Winston brought the Noles back, threw for a couple of scores. Carlos Williams got the go-ahead score, and if you recall, this came down to a pick play there where Notre Dame was flagged, so erased that touchdown, and Jacob Pugh with the interception to seal the victory for Florida State, 31-27, part of an unbeaten regular season 10 years ago. Coach, just a final thought as you go to South Bend and you see the stats from that game. Winston, another ho-hum, 273 yards and a couple scores, and Rashad Green, what a receiver he was during his days in Tallahassee, and then played professionally for a little bit as well. Coach, some familiar faces this week as you go to South Bend. You're familiar with Notre Dame's head coach because he was at Cincinnati when you were at Memphis, and Notre Dame's quarterback was at Duke last year. I know he was hobbled when he came in here, but as a starting point, some familiar faces that are pretty good at college football.
Yeah, and Coach Raymond done a great job, just with, as his transition from going from defensive coordinator to now the head coach. I mean, you see that, his imprint on this football team and just the mentality of how they play. They're tough, they're physical. He's done a great job in recruiting your team speed, and so you see that show up, especially they're on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, they play at a very high level at the top 15 scoring defense in the country. Really done a nice job throughout the course of the year, and offensively, I mean they're tough. I mean they're going to run the football, play action pass, shots vertically down the field. Do very well coached in special teams. So it's going to be a three-phase game, and for us it's about us going out there and executing, and taking every bit of who we are and being able to apply it throughout the course of a 60-minute contest. And we're gonna have to do a great job owning the football. We got to create extra possessions, and then we got to attack in all three phases. And I know our guys are excited for the opportunity, the stage, and I mean it's one of those great games that you get to be a part of, and let's go be our best.
All right, Coach, we're going to let you get back to work. Round of applause for head coach Mike Norvell. Appreciate it. We'll be joined by Omar Graham momentarily, and then Coach David Johnson in just a little bit. Hey, when you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. So start feeling like it today. Visit Truist.com/care. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC. We'll have more from Bowden's in College Town right after this. This is Inside Seminole Football. Stay with us. Thank you.
Bowden's in College Town. This is Inside
We are back. Great to see the crowd tonight on a Monday night as we're into November now. And, of course, Florida State has a couple more home games still to go, but a big one at Notre Dame. I'll introduce our guest here momentarily, but first let me tell you that Carver's Discount Cleaners is mean on stains and green on earth. Try new Eco Green Dry Cleaning and Carver's Discount Cleaners at 1215 North Monroe Street in Midtown. All right, really, you don't need any introduction of these folks here as we bring you back inside Bowden's, but this is Omar Graham, who's really playing some good football. How are you, Omar?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. You know, I talked to you in the last week or two just about how you've been progressing, and first of all, you're finally healthy, and I'll knock on something for you, but I mean, obviously that feels pretty good to know that you know, your body can perform the way you want it to now, and you're getting the reps you need, and it's starting to show on the field.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about how you feel you've progressed thus far as you've gotten healthy.
I feel like I've progressed like mentally, physically. Just on the field, just playing more smart, more faster. And the big thing for me was just confidence. Like I know last year I played injured also, but mentally it was like not make a mistake. I feel like this year the difference is go make a play for the team. So I feel like that's the best part.
Well, compared to a year ago, you had two veterans that you could turn to, and I know DJ's with you right now, but he's been hurt. Now you've got to be that guy for Blake and Juice and the others. So how is that different for you in terms of you're still learning, but you're trying to coach and teach them too? Yeah,
so I'm just like you said, I had two veterans plus DJ Lundy. Like they're all coaching me. I all learn from their mistakes, learn from their the good things about them. Even still today, D-Lo and Tatum, they're still coaching me. Tatum was at the game last Saturday, and after every drive, he was telling me, go trigger. Like, he was just giving me tips, and it really helped me in that game. And even during the season, Tatum texted me. D-Lo came to the Clemson game. He's telling me, just take control and everything. So, like I'm still learning and everything like that, but I still have them coaching me. I'm still learning as I go, and I'm still being there for the young guys and just trying to be that leader for them.
How is the chemistry developing among you and Blake? And I know Juice is hurt right now, but just that group overall.
It feels great. Like I feel like no knock to the last year's group, but we learned from them, and I feel like this is the closest group I've ever been a part of, because it started in the spring when Sean came over. Every weekend we'll go over to somebody's house, whether it was Juice crib, Sean crib. We'll go over to somebody's house and just hang out, and we go out to eat every week, and just chemistry is just growing and growing. I feel like we're the closest group ever.
I always like to ask players when I talk to them, and I asked you this a couple weeks ago, so I'm going to repeat the question, but not everybody here heard it. When you're away from football, what does free time look like for you? How do you spend your time?
I would say I listen to some music. I like watching TV. I told you I got a dog. I got my girlfriend a dog, little Yorkie, so I'm spending time taking care of the dog. I'm playing the game, playing a lot of 2K, NCAA. But other than that, I'm just watching a lot of film, just talking to my family, just trying to be myself and get away from football.
Understand. So obviously that was a tough running back you faced last week against North Carolina, and it's going to be a very tough running game or just offense that you're facing this week. It's early in the work week as you've looked at tape, and you're going to go through more preparation. But what do you see so far? What do you know so far about Notre Dame?
I know they always historically had a good O-line. I know Riley Leonard, he's a good quarterback. He's going to be involved in the run game a lot. Jeremiah Love and the backs that they got, they're a good running back group. They're a good, it's just a good running. It's a good team overall. So I trust our D-line. I trust the linebackers. I trust our defense as a whole to go out there and perform to the best of our ability.
Yeah, I know this past week was not something that you guys wanted to have that result. So how much resolve is there right now to go out and have a better showing this week?
I feel like it's a lot. This season hasn't gone the best way for us, but I look at it as positive. As much losses as we've taken, it's an opportunity to get better. So I just feel like we're just gonna learn from whatever we did wrong last week and all the other losses, and we're gonna apply it in this next game.
Now I'll let you get going here momentarily, but you're from Fort Lauderdale like I am, and which means that if it gets below 70, it's cold out. So you've lived in Tallahassee, you've dealt with Not that it's going to be Arctic this week, but it might be in the 40s at Notre Dame. You good with that?
Oh yeah, I'm good. Like I feel like Tallahassee is like when I first got here, it was very cold. So I feel like I'm gonna be good for whatever the weather is down there. I feel like I'm gonna be good.
All right. Well, we're counting on it. We appreciate the effort, the blood, sweat, and tears you put into the program. It's good to meet you. How about a round of applause for Omar Graham here? There we go. There we go. All right. Now you got to get home. You got to take that dog for a walk, okay?
Yeah.
Hey, it's time for our Gear of the Week segment presented by Garnet Gold. Stay warm this weekend as the Noles travel to face Notre Dame with this week's featured item, a men's Nike Seminole logo victory half zip in the black colorway. Looks pretty good. I think I need to talk to Tara and the folks at Garnet Gold and see if I can't get hooked up for the sideline duties this week. Garnet Gold has been locally owned and operated for over 40 years. Visit one of the 3 locations here in Tallahassee and pick up your new game day gear. All right, thanks again to Omar Graham. Coach David Johnson is up next here on Inside Seminole Football when we return to Bowden's in College Town. More Seminole football talk right after this. We welcome you back to Bowden's, and we welcome Coach David Johnson, who handles the running backs. And I've got several questions for Coach here momentarily. But first, I want to remind our Seminole fans that Florida State Athletics would like to thank Grassroots Coffee for their support of Florida State football. Grassroots Coffee is also the official coffee of the Battle's End. And every time you drink Battle's End Blend, you support FSU athletes. Order Battle's End Blend today at grassrootscoffee.com. There you go. All right, Coach, it's good to see you, and let's talk about this running back group, and I guess we can start by talking first and foremost about Lawrence Toafili, who's had such a decorated career here, and I know, given the way the season has unfolded, I'm sure it's not the year that he wanted to have, but what can you tell Seminole fans about Lawrence the individual and the player, and just what an asset he's been to this program during his time here?
Lawrence been the guy who's been in our room for 5 years. He's been dedicated. He's probably one of the most unselfish players I ever coached. And he's the leader of that room. He sets the tone. He sets the culture for that room. And I was really proud of him on last semester. Got a chance to watch him graduate. So that was one of the big things for him. He's been doing it on and off the field. So I'm really been proud of everybody calls him LT, but he's probably one of the unsung heroes. Going to the championship game on last year, he was the MVP. So he continues to work, the different things that we're going through right now. He's keeping those guys up, especially the young guys, and it's a lot on him. But I'm really proud of LT.
How much of a leader is he? You've got a small segment group. So I imagine you guys are pretty tight. And I'm just curious, as the veteran, how much of a leader is he for those guys?
I think he's. They voted him captain, an entire team. So that's been really good. That speaks volume about the type of person he is. He does a really good job with the young guys in our room. Him and Cam are really tight. Rodell was a transfer. He came in. He welcomed him. So he understands the work. He understands the commitment, the things that we're trying to do. In our room, we always say we on fries. We try to stay with our job, making sure we do the things that we need to do, whatever the team needs. And he's going to play special teams, do whatever. But he shows and he leads by example.
You mentioned Cam. He's been out the last couple of weeks, and but when he's gotten a chance, you can see that here's the pile and it keeps moving forward. And I don't know that you could take credit for coaching that, but I think that's a little bit of ability for Cam. But what do you see from him?
Extremely tough. He's a really big back, 225 pounds. And like you said, when he hits the pile, everybody's going to move. He does a really good job with that. But I love Cam. He catches the ball off the backfield. He could block, and he played quarterback in high school. So he kind of understands the entire offense. But Cam's been a major asset for us.
How difficult, maybe difficult's not the right word, but there has to be a transition just because you're lining up in a different spot as a running back. Yes, he's athletic and he can run, but when he's not the quarterback and it's different, you're taking the handoff. So how much of a transition is that?
I thought he did a good job with coming in the spring, kind of understanding the structure that we have for the running back. I think the biggest thing and the biggest challenge was for him with protection, pass pro and different things like that. But he made a major improvement on it. He's doing a good job with it, but the transition's been really good for him. But that was the only thing I think probably with the pass protection.
Yeah. There's other running backs I want to get to. For now, I'll go to Samuel Singleton. he had that kick return a couple of weeks ago, and I'm wondering for somebody like that, how impactful is that for him, just from a confidence standpoint, to know, to prove his value to the team, maybe even though it wasn't from his main running back position, to do something like that?
I think he took full advantage of his opportunity. He was ready for it. He had been telling himself all the time that he was going to kind of return the kick, and JP put him in position. I thought the rest of the guys did a really good job blocking for him, and he finished it. A lot of people didn't realize he was that fast. But Sam was a track star in high school, really strong. He's at 205 pounds, and everybody was excited for him, and he needed that confidence.
You got another track star from high school that we'll talk about in our next segment. Looking at the offense in general, I mean, you've had some backs that are hurt. You've had O-linemen that are hurt. You've had a quarterback. I mean, it's just been injuries across the board. Now with the two younger quarterbacks that are playing that have a little bit of mobility and add that dimension, how much can that or has that helped the running game, the fact that the quarterback run can be part of it as well?
I think that's really big for us, and understand that we have to take some pressure off of those young guys. They're doing the best that they can do at this point, and they're working extremely hard. They're trying to make sure the offense is efficient and different things like that, but I think the running backs are doing a great job trying to make sure we kind of keep those guys upright. And they're taking on more of a leadership role because we want to take the pressure off those young quarterbacks.
All right, we're talking with David Johnson, running back coach. Still some more running backs and more questions for him we'll get to in our next segment. I owe Seminole Boosters an apology because that interview with Omar Graham was presented by Seminole Boosters. And speaking of that, did you know that FSU Athletics is self-supported and is not funded by tax dollars? Because of this, we rely on fans just like you to join Seminole Boosters so your teams have the best possible chance to achieve success on and off the field. Seminole Booster membership starts at $5 per month and comes with great membership benefits. Go online to SeminoleBoosters.com to learn more or join. That is SeminoleBoosters.com. All right, still one segment to go. More questions ahead. We'll continue our conversation with running back coach David Johnson right after this from Bowdens in College Town. Inside Seminole Football rolls on momentarily. And we continue. Tom Block sitting in for Jeff Colhane. He's with the men's basketball team, which is playing down the street at the Tucker Center right now against Northern Kentucky. It is opening night. Jeff, of course, will be back with the Seminole football team for the call at Notre Dame this weekend, and we're joined by assistant coach David Johnson. We got a great venue here at Bowdens. The folks who are here know that. If you haven't been here, you should check it out. It's a killer courtyard. Bowdens is a proud partner of Florida State Athletics and the host location of Inside Seminole Football with Coach Mike Norvell. We'll be here every Monday night during football season, starting live at 7 from right here in College Town, 7 to 8. Once again, no show next week for Veterans Day. All right, we continue the conversation with David Johnson and Coach. A couple other guys to talk about, and before I get to the other freshman and the track star, Keziah Holmes is a guy who's been around for a little bit as well, and got some carries the other day, and matter of fact, this offseason I ran into Lawrence Toafield, and he was with Keziah. They were out shopping, and I had a conversation. But tell us a little bit about Keziah and what he brings to the program.
Keziah is a leader. He's a veteran. He understands exactly what's going on. And even when he wasn't in playing, he was coaching Sam up. He was coaching Cam up. So you look for a veteran guy like that who can do it all, and he understands his role. And when he got his opportunity, he's making the most of it right now. We down a few running backs, so he was able to step in. He knows the offense in and out, and he does a great job playing special teams.
Yeah, a couple running backs have been out. I don't know if you can give us an update, but I know Roydell, and you mentioned he's there. He's coaching on the sidelines, and Jalen Lucas as well. That was a blow, both those guys going down. How are they mentally right now? Because that's almost tougher than dealing with the physical, and you come back when you can't help your team and you're sitting out.
They're doing a great job mentally. Josh is doing a good job getting them back for rehab and different things like that. And Jalen, he's up and ready, just kind of moving around, which is really good, getting back and getting stronger. Same thing with Roydell. So we're just waiting, chomping at the bit to kind of get those guys back, kind of get them back for the spring, get them back working so we can kind of move forward.
All right, some of the folks here tonight may have seen Mekhi Danzy play since he's a local product from Florida High. He's gotten a little bit of action this year, but this guy is a track star with so he's the winner in the clubhouse as to who's the fastest running back. Is he the fastest guy on the team?
I think he's the fastest guy on the team. Maybe one or two guys may challenge that, but running the 45 and a 400 or 20 and a 200 and like 10.5 and 100. he's one of the fastest players I ever coached.
So Coach Norvell doesn't have a chance when he breaks with the team there and sprints to the end zone?
I'm going to stay away from that one.
Yeah, that's fair. Smart guy here. Tell us a little bit about Mekhi, though, and just the adjustment. I mean, speed is one thing, ability is another, but when you come in as a freshman, you got to learn pass pro, you got to learn the system, all those type things. So how is his development going?
I think he's doing a good job. He's excited about being in the room with the rest of those guys. We able to kind of move him around, put him at slot receiver, different things like that. We had him returning a few punts early on when he first got here, kind of teaching him that aspect of the game. But he's electric. He's going to be a really explosive player for us in the future, and he's doing a good job right now. So we trying to make sure he gets strong and different things like that.
Yeah, I mean, even with a couple guys down, you still have a plethora of good running backs there. When it's a challenging year like this, I mean, when the holes aren't necessarily there, it's been one of those years where getting everything to flow together hasn't been seamless. How tough is that on the running backs to stay locked in and focused on what they need to do?
I think they do a good job understanding. Listen, we have to do our job. This is going to be some life lessons that they learn. Like, everything's not going to go our way, so how can you work through it? So you have to take advantage of the opportunity. Every opportunity won't be fair, and these kids are learning that. I tell them every day, life gonna life, regardless of what's going on. So they do a really good job of trying. I always tell them, tracks, and make sure you just take the crump. All the big runs that come later, just take the crump.
You got a bumper sticker yet for Life Gonna Life? I kind of like that.
No.
That's well said. Coach, you've been at this for a long time. I mean, you've coached in big-time atmospheres, big-time games. Going to Notre Dame, I mean, there's a lot of history and tradition there. The kids can't get wrapped up in that. So more than that, just tell us a little bit about this Notre Dame defense. They got a defensive-minded head coach, so I know they're going to be good in defense. What do you see?
Really good. They're fast. They're physical group. Really disciplined. They're all on the same page, and they do a great job, and the coach does a great job putting them in position. And our biggest thing is not to hurt ourselves. Don't turn the ball over, different things like that. And I think we'll be okay. The biggest thing is not to hurt yourself and can really play some good football. Being smart, playing fast, and being physical ourselves. We have to go out there with that type of mindset.
I'll finish up on this. I always ask the players this, and I know you don't get downtime during the season, and then it's recruiting season, and it continues. But when you get away from football, how do you relax?
I think the biggest thing, spending time with my family, spending time with my wife. My wife making sure I stay on a good diet, eating right, and different things like that. She loves to bake cookies. She say her cookies are really good. So I enjoy that part of it.
All right. Well, Coach, we appreciate everything you do and all your hard work. Round of applause for running back coach David Johnson, everybody. All right. We are out of time here at Bounds. Been a great crowd, great night. Thanks so much for tuning in to Inside Seminole Football. And go Noles!